Hello and welcome everyone to the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness on the Paranormal United Network. Oh, I've got that funny noise happening again. Or is that your phone, Renata?
It's my phone. It's okay.
Oh, so we hope we got the time right for all our American audience. Uh, we started daylight savings here last Sunday, so therefore, sorry, all our times had to change. And I always am absolutely terrified anytime I have to change times internationally with daylight savings because you never know who's on daylight savings and who's not. So I think I've got it right. Hi, Madalena. How are you? And thank you for popping over to YouTube. I thought it might be safer to watch from YouTube today because Facebook has been falling over in a giant heap. So we'll see how it affects numbers today, but that's okay. And Renata needs to put her phone off vibrate because we're sounding like you're farting over here, dear.
It's all right. It's all done. It's all done.
How are you feeling this week, Renata?
Well, we're closer to Freedom Day, as we call it here in Australia, whether they like it or not, which is only a few days away, next Monday. So I think it's going to open a can of worms. I'm not sure whether I like it or not.
It's a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
And as for I haven't actually had a chance to talk to Renata about this yet, but we've accidentally double booked ourselves because of the time change. So I will have to let you know whether we will be doing the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness next week. It will all depend on what happens with our other appointment. So that was Uncensored Radio because we booked in their time slot to record.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah, so we have, because the time's changed, double booked everything. So we will work to iron out that little issue, and we may have a week off next week because it's also Renata's birthday next week, and we can't work it too hard.
No.
All right, so this week, fascinating topic. Maybe that's why we've only got 3 people on, maybe 4 now that Adelaide has joined us. Hi, Madalena. Hi, Jody. Hi, Adelaide. So as you know, there's a fair few issues going on with Facebook at the moment. So thank you for joining us here on YouTube. But today's topic, what a great one it is, Renata.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
Now,
and
did I do this one?
Yes. Well, you are the mistress of urine. And so
What?
no, we've been through the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness before, and when we got to you picked the most interesting topic that I could ever imagine, and it was
or something ordinary.
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. So when you came up again, I thought, oh, no, I'm just going to let you take over of you.
Well, everyone, you're in for a treat. Let me pop this back up to the stream so we can all see that there. And I've even managed to get some nice yellow puddles there to start us off on our magical journey. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that this actually changes. Does that change? Yes! It wasn't changing before. So, we are going to be examining urine today, or urine, or whatever you'd like to call it, but we have to call it urine or something because it fits under you. For its magical and medicinal properties, yes, you heard right, medicinal properties, but also I have some ghost stories associated with the urine as well. And now I've got the hiccups. Isn't that fabulous? Right. So moving on. So in magic, it can be used in witchcraft and black magic rituals. It can be mixed with wine, herbs, or oils and used as an ointment or in pills and amulets, talismans, and charms. It's also used in aphrodisiacs as a fertility potion. Mmm, nice. So, for centuries, urine has been used for spells of white, red, or black magic. Oh, Renata, you're going to love that, aren't you?
Oh, I can hardly wait.
I've got a question coming up for you, so just hang on to your knickers. Hopefully, there's no urine there. Anyway, therefore, will you stop interrupting me? Therefore, it's used as one of the necessary instruments for any spell or love moorings. Now, Renata, what is a love mooring in spell work?
I have no idea.
Well,
I
great.
love
Thank you for your input today. It's basically so that it anchors that person into looking towards you, to noticing you, to
I see.
anchor them into they come into your world. But is it a good thing or a bad thing? Let me go on. So I'm going to give you an example of a type of spell with urine in it that helps you fall in love. I'm sure you're all going to be taking notes. So hang on, I'm just trying to catch my notes there. Right, so if you've got someone that you rather fancy and you would like to fall in love with them and you don't know how, this is a good example. I hope you like the pictures I've got in here today, Renata. Are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm putting up messages for you
Right,
on
okay.
Facebook. I'm doing my advertising bit.
Okay, you had me worried there for a second. I thought, don't
No,
leave
no,
me alone. I don't know what you present.
I'm here. I am here.
So generally, it's the woman's urine is one of the main tools for this mooring spell or a love spell. This natural liquid can be mixed with various essences such as coffee, tea, and this one's a cracker, although I don't think you and I are actually going to be able to do anything about this one. Blood of menstruation.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if we can
Okay.
find someone that'll loan us some. Maybe we could talk to Isaac about that. Apparently, he knows a few people that are into using their menstrual blood. But it is a very powerful tool. So since its effect is powerful, and for that you will fall in love with the man you love so much.
So what are you supposed to? Oh, goodness gracious me! What are you
Give me
supposed to
time.
do?
Yeah,
What do you
I'm
What do you
getting
do with
there.
the urine in that case?
Right, you just pee into a cup or a container and hang on to it. Or if you've got
Okay.
a quick, I'm not going to talk about the menstrual blood because that's not the topic. Anyway, so if you're a man and you are madly in love with a woman, you can also carry out this powerful love spell since gender will since gender will not alter anything. The important thing is the urine of the person who will make the enchantment. But they say that this spell is not that common in males. It's more the ladies that are likely to use this spell. Now, this is actually some of the items that you need for your spell. So you need a bottle full of urine. I just love my pictures. 9 rusted nails. Human hair. Now, I'm just looking at that picture of the hair there, and I'm not quite sure where they've trimmed that hair from. But as long as it's human hair, that's all that really matters. And 9 rusty needles. So you wonder what the correspondences are with the rust. Is it representing iron as in strength, or is it representing the red rust as in blood, or is it the anchoring that those needles and things are representing?
Mm.
Now, this apparently would be considered a black magic spell. Now, why is that, Renata?
Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to influence somebody else for a cause, a specific cause. And in some circles, that's sort of known as black magic. as opposed to white magic, which is all fluffy and nice, and all we're after is love and light and healing and all of that sort of stuff. And so black magic is always thought about as some sort of influence upon another person without their knowledge or without their consent. When in actual fact, you had people who did this sort of stuff without these labels hundreds and hundreds of years ago. They just did it. If you knew the right person in the village, and we are talking about villages and very remote villages with, small amounts of people in them, there was always someone that could be asked to do some spell work. And more often than not, I have to say that spell work would have been on the darker side, because human beings haven't changed very much. And, it was a way of retribution or changing fate, if you so wish to say it that way. And there was a belief that something could be done to make some changes, and some people were powerful enough to direct those changes to be made.
Yep, and when we refer to black magic, it's not referring to Satan or the devil or anything like that. It just means that this is a type of magic where they are trying to influence somebody against their will. They're trying to make somebody do something that suits them, but might not allow for the free will of the person involved. So I'm not actually going to give you the whole of the spell, but I just thought it was really interesting exactly what was involved. So it says, commonly this mooring of love is used to maintain control of the relationship. Likewise, it's also implemented that the person who will be delighted and do whatever you want with this spell. However, as we've said before, playing with magic is a dangerous matter. Therefore, caution is advised when starting to perform the spell. So I'm glad that they have their caveats in there. Oh, I didn't actually put that back in. Anyway, there we go. So now let's go on to the medicinal purposes. This isn't going to be a hugely long presentation, so if anyone's got any questions at the end, we can go to them. So medicinal purposes. Now, it contains ammonia, which can neutralize acids. It's usually free from bacteria and therefore has disinfectant properties. I can see Renata's fingers. Women have drunk their husband's urine during childbirth to speed up the process.
Very nice.
Can I just say no? No, I don't care how much it would work. I'm not drinking my husband's wee. Speed up the process is in like, you're going to give me his wee? Push it out! Push it out! There. Anyway.
Maybe that's exactly what was happening, Anne. Maybe just the thought of doing that made the baby come.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then women have been given their own urine to relieve hysteria.
Yeah, I read that too.
How could that possibly make you less hysterical? Here, drink this because you're feeling hysterical. Drink your own urine. Hell no, I would be swinging from the rafters and I would be far more hysterical. Sorry. And male urine contains androsterone, which improves or improves, apparently, health and virility. So they can drink their own bloody wee on that. I'm not going near it.
So Celtic Dragon says it's great for lemon trees. Thank you so much for that piece of information, Celtic Dragon. And Adelaide J says, and for rose bushes.
Oh, nice. And I do believe there was also, if you get stung by a blue bottle or something like that, if you wee on it, it takes the sting out of it. So
yeah, I don't know whether that's
I'm not going to give that one a try either, because I'm just a wuss. It's hard to be hysterical when you're gagging.
That's true, Daddy.
That's true. All right. Right, let's get on to the next one. Oh, is that right? Am I onto the... Yep, that's it. So, As I said, I do have some ghost stories for you in regards to urine, wee, pee, whatever you want to
Wow.
call it. Yes, I know. So this is a mum who fears that she's got a ghost that keeps peeing in her toilet while she's at work, and apparently people online thought it was hilarious. So let me read you this story. A woman keeps coming home from work to find pee in her toilet. She's joked her house could be haunted by a ghost incapable of flushing. I bet they're a man. So her username was Mumsnet. On Mumsnet is called I Can't Find a Good Name, which I thought was hilarious in itself. So this comes from Mumsnet, and it's called the Phantom Piss Taker. That's right. Dear husband, leaves for work at 7:30 a.m. I leave for the school run at 8:30 a.m. I was the last one in the bathroom for the last 3 mornings. Just got home from work, and for the 3rd day in a row, there is wee in my toilet. She added, it definitely wasn't there when I left, as hubby works miles away, so it wasn't him, or something like that, but it wasn't him that's been weeing in her toilet. So what is it? A ghost is incapable of flushing? The cat has somehow come in and gone beyond the litter training? I mean, what the hell is happening? Now, what was some of the things you think might be happening there, Renata?
I probably the first thing that I would think of was the cat or a cat coming in.
Oh, Facebook's just come online. Yay! Welcome everyone from Facebook. You've missed out on a cracker. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that possibly it would be a cat. I have no idea. I'd set up a camera and film.
Yeah, that would be the most obvious thing to do. My thought is it might actually be something that's in the pipes that is dropping while they're out, or the water might be discoloured and it settles by the time they get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people gave her some great replies. They said, sorry to be boring. It's probably a ghost of someone who used to love pissing in your house. Mrs. Wanna Banana added, dying to know who it is now, secretly hoping it really is a ghost. Palom said, one of my cats uses the toilet. It's not unheard of. So, yeah, and I have seen videos of cats that have used toilets. They said
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
a cat growing up who used the toilet, very surprised the first time we caught her at it. I wonder if they just watch the humans and think, that's what they're doing. Obviously, this is what I need to do. Other people suggested that they might have a man living in the loft, hiding up in their roof space and coming in to use the toilet and not bothering to flush.
They've seen too many movies.
Yeah. But there are some good suggestions. Somebody said put washing up liquid in the pan and pour kettle boiling water onto it, and that should clear out whatever's in there. Someone's also said, are you sure it's wee? Could it be the water in your toilet being discoloured? Oh, yeah, by something stuck in the tank or the U-bend. And I reckon that's probably what it is more than anything. Another one there. Mine does this after a long day. It's just not flushing properly is all. Excuse the hounds of Baskerville going off in the back there. So what she ended up doing is she said that she made her husband go out and give it a good plunge, and they checked the loft for the hidden trolls, but they've still got the issue. They've still got the all of that happening. Another suggestion, I think this is a really good one, is sprinkle talc around the toilet floor and then see if there's any paw prints or footprints or anything like that in it. So now she feels like she's part of the Scooby-Doo team trying to work out who it is that's peeing in her toilet. Anyway, what do you think of that one?
That was awesome. Really like that.
Jenny says she'd set up a toilet cam outside as well. I think Chazelle Christopher for sharing. Very much appreciate that. Let's get on now and have a look at the next ghost story. So, okay, I'm trying to find out if ghosts pee, this gentleman said. I have had quite a lot of fluid dripping from my TV set.
Right. Why would they choose a TV?
Yeah. Why would the ghost pee in a TV? I don't know. Have we seen the TV show or the movie Poltergeists? There's all sorts of things that come out of a TV there. He said, and a large amount of fluid on and around the 4 hot plates, all on the first day. So not only the TV, but their stove as well. Icky yuck. I cleaned it all up and wondered about how it got there. 2 days later, I walk past the TV and I hear water running. The TV is not on or plugged in. So for me, that's a good thing, because if it was turned on, and he seems to think that the ghosts are messing with him. This is, then it happened again, only to the TV this time. I thought maybe the cats, bloody cats, but no smell, just a little yellow colour, probably dust, possibly collected as it ran down the TV.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's got a yellow liquid that's running down the TV.
I wonder what people think. If people might put in the comments what they think is going on, might be interesting. I've got a view. I've put it up. What do other people think's going on?
Then the kettle got attacked as well. Had to wash it down and clean the insides as well. Wasn't sure if anything had gone in there, so of course you're going to clean the inside and the outside. But now they've got this yellow liquid happening there. The next time, the bench top had a big puddle on it. No smell, just a slight colour as before. They wiped it down with a paper towel and put it in the fridge inside a plastic bag, as you do. Maybe he was just wanting to prove to people that it was there. Now, apparently they did take some photos of this, but they couldn't work out how to put it up online, so they haven't put it up online, which is really sad. I would have really liked to have had a look at it. I now have 2 bags in the fridge. This morning I woke up to a big mess next to my breadboard. When I lifted the breadboard, there was a heap of this fluid underneath that as well. So, his question is, do ghosts pee?
Wow. That's really weird. I'm wondering whether it's some sort of a prank someone is doing to him. But if it's all happening only in one spot continuously, then you could kind of go, okay, we must look at something that's going on around that particular area. But it's randomly appearing in different spots, so yeah,
That's a good
really
point,
weird.
Johnny. If it's an older TV, it could be the tubes that are leaking. Look, I know that from my laptop with my screen that I had there, the screen got cracked in a corner and I started to have this yellowish liquid leak out of that. So maybe he had damage there, but it's appeared in other areas as well. So don't really know what it is.
Very weird. Very
Yeah,
weird. Did they find out eventually what it was?
Oh, no, we got no resolution to that whatsoever. I would be sort of examining the walls and is he an apartment? If he's hearing water running, to me that would be another apartment somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no resolution. How it could be that he was sleepwalking and peeing. Who knows? It could be a dog that's marking their territory. Yeah. Could be many, 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 many things. Anyway, as I said, probably should have realised this, Renata, that when I did this presentation last time, it was only a half-hour presentation. But anyway, thanks for watching. So,
well,
here, go on.
We've got question time.
Let's open it up to a paranormal question and answer, just so that you know who Renata and I are. I am a paranormal investigator and I own and operate Oz Paratech, Australia's largest online paranormal equipment store. So if you have questions on equipment, I am more than happy to give it a crack. and I worked out that I have actually been a paranormal investigator for 11 years coming this Halloween. I found a memory on Facebook from 11 years ago that said that I was going out on an investigation, and that was the day I joined up with the team. So 11 years officially. What about you, Renata? What's your background?
I started off as a psychic reader, psychic medium, and went into a very small business with a friend where we were running psychic development workshops and stuff. And we decided to branch out and start into ghost hunting because it seemed at that stage to be going really well in Sydney, which is about a 2-hour drive, hour and a half drive from where we live. We live in Newcastle. And it wasn't being done in Newcastle really on a sort of a public form. There were a few small groups around, but they were really sort of doing their own thing. There were no real sites being utilised. And that was about 11 years ago. And that sort of just really went gangbusters in the early years. We had lots of people who were very, very interested in it. The thing that we found hard was getting the general public to appreciate what we were doing and have sites available. So getting sites in Australia is really, really difficult. That really hasn't improved over the last 10 years or so. But as we all know, ghost hunting has exploded all over the world. There are thousands and thousands of groups everywhere. And so we've kind of actually hit it at a peak time and a peak period to actually be around and to be able to share what we are all learning and our experiences. So it's a great time to be an investigator and a ghost hunter.
It is. All right, Johnny's got a question for us. What's your opinion on residual imprints?
Well, we probably find from the work that we do that is the most prevalent when it comes to paranormal experiences that people are finding in homes or on historic sites, places where people go ghost hunting. People talk about this all the time when they call us about their houses, their homes that they've just moved into. They will hear the footsteps going down the hallway at a certain time at night, or they might see something go past, and it sort of happens on a continual basis at the same time in the same way. And that gets them very, very scared, obviously, if they've never had that happen before. And so, we're called in to investigate to see what happens. So from our experience, does seem to be a real thing, Johnny. It does seem to be something that happens, and happens quite often. But what sparks it to come back to life is, I guess, the big question. There are some theories about it, but are those theories something that hold credence or not? I don't know. What do you say, Anne?
Okay, so for me, what you're referring to is like an echo of something that used to be there and no longer has intelligence or a soul or brain or whatever you want to call it to interact with you. And I mean, the skeptics will say, "Oh, well, how can that be? How can you have the sound of a door banging that's no longer there, or footsteps or anything?" And the reality is we do have equipment that can record sound and video and replay it when those things no longer exist. So the possibility, the science behind being able to do that is a real thing. It's an environmental thing. We don't quite understand how it has imprinted. There's lots of various theories, such as stone tape theory. There is the water memory theory. But whatever it is, there is something in the environment that triggers the memory of the place to play those sounds or that video or whatever it is again. And this is where, if we're investigating, we like to know what the history of the location is, because it may explain why you were hearing those noises at that particular time of day. We've lost Renata. I don't know where she's gone. Like, she's actually completely disappeared out of the feed altogether. Oh, there she is. I'll just pop her back in. Lost your love.
Yeah, sorry. There's still gremlins in the
There's
works.
gremlins in the system. So I absolutely believe that it is possible. I don't think we understand the science of why it has been imprinted in a location, or whether or how it gets triggered. But yeah, I do believe that it is a possibility. Johnny's got the good questions today. What advice would you give to a paranormal hobbyist?
Oh, read, and then read, and read.
Study.
Yeah, read some really good books on the subject. Read a whole lot of different books, because you're going to get different advice from different people. But my suggestion first is to study and to get some knowledge behind you about what you are actually trying to get into. And as Anne always says, the big question is, why are you wanting to do it? What's your reasoning behind doing it? Do you want to become a paranormal investigator? Are you searching for some sort of truth that backs up something that has happened for you, and you're just wanting to know more? Are you interested in the technology of it? Do you just want to be like the person you're seeing on TV or on the ghost hunting shows? Because all of those questions will lead you to different people who are doing different things, and they sometimes don't match. So sometimes someone who is really after using technology isn't going to fit well into a group of people who are just after the scare factor of things. Someone who might be trying to find their own answer for an experience that they have had may not fit well with someone who's absolutely and totally scientific or is just studying parapsychology. And so you've got to kind of find that niche of where you feel that you're fitting, or that you want to know. But my suggestion is, just don't stick with one thing that you hear to begin with, because you are always hearing somebody's bias as to what they have learnt, or what stage of development they themselves are in. And please understand that what you see on TV is entertainment. It's entertainment that you are seeing, unless it has the word documentary somewhere in the title of what you are looking at. Then it is really purely entertainment, and probably more than 98% of what you are seeing on TV has been scripted and put together to make it entertaining. Be patient with yourself, and don't expect, just because you have decided to be a ghost hunter, that the world of spirit opens up to you magically, and that when you call out, that all of these entities and energies are going to come rushing to you.
Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I wasn't trying to get rid of you there. You were on a great spiel. Yeah, what she said. My advice is to be aware of the bias of whatever it is that you are reading. I tend to steer clear of anything that has anything to do with religious bias, and that's referring to demons and angels, because that is a very narrow bias and viewpoint of the paranormal field that is looked through the eyes of people who believe in a certain thing. So my go-to is Lloyd Albach. I cannot recommend him enough. He has some really nice, simple books called Ghost Hunting or something. I can't remember. I've got it over the back there. But he is amazing. So thank you, Johnny. Now, Facebook users.
And Johnny, Lloyd Auerbach actually does free stuff on Facebook. It's actually called. He's got a Facebook page, I think, and he does some free lives and he calls himself Professor Paranormal, and he regularly comes on and answers people's questions, and he's a parapsychologist, so he
And
really
very
delves.
approachable, so we found out.
Yeah, he really delves into the mind of the living and how we interact with this other side, and tries to look at, you know, I guess what has influence over what. And he's awfully down to earth. And I would so recommend you get onto this guy and read his books, or get onto his Facebook page and look at what he does, because if you've got questions, he will no fuss answer them. And he's awesome. He's been around for ages and ages, years and
Just
years.
don't ask him what he thinks of the Warrens. He will tell you. Anyway, now also the RINE Institute is starting up a whole heap of new courses on the 11th of October. Guys, this is amazing. The RHINE, very reasonably priced, and the level of knowledge you get is it's not like, we're looking at the University of Edinburgh now doing this parapsychology course, and that's really highbrow. I have to work with a dictionary, and I've already got a degree. I've got an education degree, and I'm having to sit and work with a dictionary to understand it. It's all very into statistics, but the RINE Institute is just freaking amazing. They explain it with examples, so you know what they're talking about. So please go look them up. Support the work that they're doing, because they are doing an amazing job. Anyway, I have a spirit in my house. How can I communicate with it? Do you really want to?
And do you know it's a spirit? What things are happening? So yeah, Facebook user, we often get this as a comment, or as something that appears to us, or it's sent in. And as wonderful as this opening statement is, all it does for us is it says to us we need to ask more questions. So I can't answer that question for you unless I know more details, because I need to know what's going on, how long it's been going on for, how it's affecting you or the rest of the family. And then I can answer the communication bit, because we can throw out a comment like, well, just talk to it, or record on your mobile phone and see whether you get something that you can listen to or hear when you play it back, or use a spirit box. But we don't know your level of knowledge on this. And the thing with a spirit box is that
Or your
some people,
bias, what your belief system is. We
yeah,
don't
some
know
people
your
will get
belief
a
system.
spirit box and they will think that every single noise they hear from a spirit box is a ghost. And it's not. It's radio. The spirits can manipulate this noise, but really good communication from a spirit box is few and far between. And you've got to know how to use it, and you've got to know how a spirit box works. It's just not turn it on and every noise you hear from it is some intelligent information from a ghost. And that can be really scary to do if you don't know what you're doing and how to use it. And so we kind of work backwards from a statement like you've made. I have a spirit in my home. How can I communicate with it? Why do you want to communicate with it? What are you trying to get out of it? Are you just trying to find out who it is? Are you trying to find out more? Do you want to befriend it and use it as an ally? All of these questions are things that we really need to know before we can really answer that in a way that is going to be healthy, safe, and secure for anyone that we're dealing with.
And thank you. That was a really good stimulation of conversation. And Janet, I hope your treatment is going well today. If everyone can send out some positive healing energy to Janet. She's battling cancer at the moment, and she's got lots of treatments that she's going through. So we send you our love, Janet. You're always in our thoughts. So you used to hear footsteps upstairs in the house that you lived in, and it didn't follow you, which shows that it was a place haunting or a residual haunting. Penny wants to know, can they come and go as they wish? or do they just interact with you all the time?
Look, as far as I am concerned, and I'll say this as a blanket statement, energy can go anywhere and everywhere and be nowhere. So it's pure energy. You can't really put it into a vessel. You can't sort of stick it into a vessel and put a lid on it, as far as I'm concerned, because it is pure energy. What we're dealing with and the knowledge that we need to ascertain is how that energetic vibration, whatever it might be, can talk to us and can make us understand that it exists. This is the big question. But how it appears and what form it takes is the million-dollar question. We all have assumptions through our experiences or what we're learning, how people have seen this occur over the centuries, but the mechanics of it is still, I think, really beyond us. And so I have to personally say that there is freedom on how it comes and goes. And there is no entrapment as far as I am concerned. But that's my personal view. And I have to be really open with that. And you can call it a bias if you like, because that's what I believe. But, that's my bias, I guess.
And I believe they have free will. I know that when we used to do our seance work, we would ask specific entities to come forward and talk, and it would take a little while. It's almost like someone's gone, "Hey, can you bring Auntie Joyce over? We've got someone who wants to talk," and it would take a little while, but then they would come on, wouldn't they? It was,
Yeah.
So that was interesting. It's like this. We don't know until we die. We don't know. We can only tell you what we've experienced through our own work as paranormal investigators and in the seance and physical mediumship. So I believe they have free will, and I reckon if they don't want to talk to you, they won't. I believe that they've also got work that they've got to do on the other side themselves, and sometimes they're just not available. Anyway, thank you, Penny. Experienced a toilet flushing in my godmother's home after her husband passed away. Maybe he finally came and flushed the toilet. Johnny, should you try and make contact with a specific spirit or ghost not knowing if it's dangerous?
Look, Johnny, that would depend on how you define dangerous. And once again, I go back to all the TV shows that are on at the moment, and they would die a very quick death if they showed spirit contact that was benign. That it was, that the way it really is, and the gentleness of it, and the way that you have to stretch yourself to come more than halfway into their world. It is us stretching ourselves and us being still and us being able to connect on a deep subconscious level to whatever is going on in our environment. And we're losing that capacity because we don't use it. It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, you will lose it. We're losing the capacity for connection in all spheres of our life. So the whole thing about spirit being dangerous, again, my bias, is that in the 30 years that I have been interacting and doing this work, I really haven't had connection with anything that has been malevolent or dangerous in any way. The danger comes from our perspective of what we are calling in, what our belief system, again, on a subconscious level, has laid down in our consciousness. And look, absolutely, there have been eons and eons of magicians and workers who have created and manifested dark energies to work with, but do you really want to call them in? Now, another thing that you are talking about is the fact that spirits can put on a persona and be somebody else. And that, again, is biases that have been produced by other people who have had experiences where they believe that this is something that has happened. And I can't speak from my own experiences of that, because really if there is something that comes through that I am not sure what that might be, I just refuse to talk to it or acknowledge it, or ask it to move away, because it has no space in my world. It's like getting a troll on a feed. If you don't feed into it and poke at it, it will eventually go away because it has nothing to feed from. That's kind of my understanding, Johnny. I hope that helps.
My thing is that you are sort of speaking as if you don't have the power to step away from whatever it is you engage with. We are in control of the situation, and you must believe that yourself. That is your psychic protection. If you believe you are in charge, and that if you've invited the spirit in to talk with it, that you are the one who closes the door, and you are the one that rejects them from your reality. So for me, a lot of this work has to do with permissions. By asking if there's someone there and asking them to talk with you, you have given them permission to be there and to talk with you. At the end of whatever communication you do, I always say, thank you so much for communicating with us, even if there was nothing. And then I say, I now close this door. You no longer have permission to communicate with me. And I block it off. So I have been on a Ouija board when I have Zozo come through. And the other people on the board didn't know anything about Zozo. So I just went, no, we're not going to talk to this person. We shut it down. We put it away. We had no more issues. I didn't let fear creep into that situation and let everyone else freak out about it, because fear would feed into that dangerous energy or negative energy or whatever it is you want to call it. But you have to believe you have the power, not them. Lost money, Anne. Sorry. When you disappeared, I thought that's funny. Jodie thought you'd gone to urinate. Janet. Yes, Celtic Dragon. Steve T. Parsons. Yes, he's amazing. Sarah Chimachero from Living Life in the Full Spectrum has awesome books. Read. They are really great people that don't present with their bias. They just present with science and knowledge. And Janet, thank you so much. You are awesome. Yeah, we are. Sorry, we can't see them on this feed, but we appreciate your stars so much. It really helps us. Yeah, debunk first.
And look, that's really hard for someone who is just interested. So, we're feeding a lot of information out to Johnny at the moment, and I hope, Johnny, that you're not feeling overwhelmed, or that
No,
we're trying
he
to
said thank
crush.
you. He says
Yeah,
thank you.
or that we're trying to crush your enthusiasm, but we're also, I guess, just trying to be grounded in the information that we give you. There are many people out there who just refuse to learn and kind of go in their way, and don't change. And it's actually interesting to watch those people, because it can reinforce for you what's important and what's not important. And look, we live in a society of free will. If there are certain people who wish to work in a particular way, as long as they're not harming other people, they have a right to do so. But from our perspective, if we feel that there is information that can be of a harming influence, or leads to people having great fear about this subject, we need to kind of intervene and say, guys, slow down and have a look at how you're doing this, because not quite sure whether you're doing it in a way that is not only respecting the living, but respecting the dead as well. And we are the gatekeepers for the spirit world. We are the ones that are building that bridge of communication and building that connection. And we have to remain respectful of the fact that people have religious beliefs, and we need to be able to apply those beliefs and the respect required of them And we need to just be careful where we tread. 100, 200 years ago, there was a handful of people doing this. You know, when it all started and when people became or interested in ghost hunting, there were a handful of people doing this. Now there's a ghost hunter or a club or a group in every township, in every city around the world. So imagine the amount of communication and information that is going out into Facebook and YouTube and all of these platforms. And it can be overwhelming. And it's like everything else. Who do you believe and what do you believe? And that's got to be your own personal journey. And again, we go back to the whole thing of why, what has sparked your interest? What do you want to know? And follow the people that give you that information, and trust your instincts, because we live in a society that is based in fear. Fear is what keeps us in a little jar and makes us do what we do repetitively, because that's how the world works. And, you know, we're all big adult people that can step into our own presence and our own power, and do it the right way.
Right, I've got a quick. We're just going to go quick now, Renata, because we've got so many questions on here. And Penny, a salt lamp with a dog that keeps barking at it. It's probably emitting some sort of whine or electrical noise that the dog can hear that you can't. That's just my guess on that one. I don't think it would be anything untowards. Sorry, everyone, the feed has jumped. We've got our resident clown, our Brad's on. Just ignore him, everyone. He can't help himself. He has this thing with farting. That never seems to be able to start off a conversation without having a fart in it.
Yeah, that just shows the intellectual level he's working at.
Yeah. We humour him. If someone has had multiple paranormal experiences throughout their life, how can they tell if they're perceiving energy everywhere they go, or if they are haunted themselves? Very good question.
Once again, it comes.
People don't realize it. Sometimes people don't realize that it's not the location that's haunted; it's the person, or it's the person who has ability.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. They probably have some form of telekinetic or telekinetic energy or ability. So they are the spark. And it's about learning how to tune into that and control it. That's the most important thing. Control in all of these aspects. It is about self-control. And so that's the thing that I would suggest for this particular person, to look at it from the point of view that you are the catalyst here, and you need to learn more about how to control these abilities, because they are showing up everywhere. And once again, the more you focus on something, the more it comes within your environment. It's just like saying to all of you, today you're going to notice red cars on the road. Red cars will be everywhere. It will be like they are following you around. Red, red, red. Now, I've placed into your mind already this capacity of your brain now going and finding every single red car that it will see on the road today when you are out. Whether you like it or not, your brain will just be attracted to the color red, because I am hypnotically putting that message into your brain. So we do this, advertisers do this all the time. It's a known thing. So the more you concentrate on this, the more it will come up in everyday life. So once again, control of the mind and control of your own mental capacities is extremely important in this work. And it's valuable work. It will help you in every single area of your life if you continue to work at it properly. And Ruthie Prophet Beaton, I would suggest that what I have just said is where you start. I want to develop my gift, but just can't afford it. Look, there is so much online that is free, dear lovely lady. There is so much that you can learn online that is free. You can study till the cows come home, 24 hours a day. And study and learning is the most important thing that there is. But make sure that whatever you are learning, you are aligned with. And if you are hearing things that don't sit well for you, stop and look for something else, because there are thousands of people offering things. And again, it will depend on your religious background, your motivations and your biases as to what fits well with you, and how securely you sit in this realm will depend on how far you allow yourself to develop or not. So if you are fearful and scared, and I'm not saying that's you, but if you are fearful or scared, then that will block the opportunity for you to have connection. So you've got to learn how to get unscared, if I can say that, first of all, and rely on your own self and your own protection of self before you step into the psychic world.
Apparently they like my t-shirt today, so I'm just going to show off my t-shirt. It says activities for children down the bottom. And we have also our Frightfully Good merch. We do ship to Australia and America and England. If you come from somewhere else, we're happy to get you a quote. But we've got lots of things. Just head over to the Frightfully Good website and you can have a look. Where are we up to down here?
Ruthie Ann, when it comes to psychic abilities and learning to open up to your psychic senses, I think the best thing to do is just to go how to develop psychic abilities and check out what's coming up. It's really hard to find someone who will actually give you the appropriate information. But I tell you, I'll tell you one thing. There's a great site called the Centre for Excellence. It's a UK site, and it is filled and with correspondence courses that you can do online. They are fairly cheap in that they're always offering a discount, and you can normally get most courses for under £30. So you just wait for a special to come up. They're mostly under £30, which will be very, very cheap for anyone in America. And do a course. Most of those courses have really great, straightforward answers. There's actually one on psychic development up now, and I only had a look at it about 2 days ago, and it offers so much information about the clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, all of that sort of stuff, about auras, about connection, about protection. I would really recommend that as a great starting point. And you're going to be learning something that has been really well scripted and well thought out. Please believe they don't pay us anything for doing this, but we have done lots of courses and we continue to do lots of courses because it's really great information. Yeah. It's nice and basic. It's not highbrow, doesn't put in anything that you really don't need. And they are called the Centre for Excellence, and they are based in the United Kingdom.
So I've got now 3 diplomas from them. Druidism diploma, Scrying diploma, Ancient Magic diploma, because I really enjoy having that knowledge, so that when we do go into a case, if I'm speaking with someone who has those belief systems, I can understand where they're coming from, and it really does help. Hi, Stephen. We would love to go to Vancouver. Wow, that would just be amazing. So look, I hope we got the time change right today, because we've had daylight savings start here, and it's just upended everything because we have to work with the times that we were given in America. So it meant the whole of the Australian times have had to change. And I hope I got it right in America. But that is us done for the day. We've got to move over now because I think there's a Spectral Sailor is coming on next. But thank you guys for having us. Now, as I said, I've got to work out whether we will be on next week or not. I'll be speaking to you, Stephen, about that. As it is Renata's birthday, and I accidentally double booked us on something with the an interview that we
Uncensored radio.
yeah, we put an interview in, and I didn't realise daylight saving had started at that stage, so I've stuffed it up. But we will let you know on Facebook what is happening. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the presentation on urine, whatever you want to call it, wee, pee. We will be back next week or the week after. And in the meantime, we'll see you on the dark
See you on the
side.
dark side.
Bye.